Hello, welcome back to my channel. Question: what's your favorite Ghibli movie? There's so many great ones, right? Maybe My Neighbor Totoro, this guy, Spirited Away, beautiful movie. If I had to choose, I've got a bit of a soft spot for one called Up on Poppy Hill. It's a very nice story. But let's be honest, there's something very unique about them all that makes them feel distinctly Ghibli. They are, on the surface, tales of fantasy filled with spirits, flying machines and hidden worlds and quiet magic, but they also share a similar feeling or a tone of nostalgia or something comforting yet also unsettling or even maybe dangerous. These are worlds where the ordinary and the extraordinary exist side by side, where a walk through the countryside might lead to an encounter with something ancient and maybe something unknowable, where childhood wonder is intertwined with loneliness, growth, and change. There is always a sense that something lies just beyond understanding, something magical but not entirely safe. They are full of charm and often gentle, and actually address some more mature and complex themes as well. Moments of warmth sit alongside moments of quiet fear, and beauty is never quite separated from strangeness, and the line between heroes and villains is blurred. So if you're a fan of the Ghibli animation studio, and you're in the mood for something Ghibli-esque, here are my 10 recommendations that share some of the qualities we love from this studio. My first pick is a fairly new release actually. It's called Water Moon by Samantha Soto Yambao. This is about a mysterious pawn shop in Tokyo that allows customers to trade their deepest regrets for a chance at something new. When the shop's owner disappears, her daughter must navigate a dreamlike version of the city to find her, encountering strange rules, shifting realities, and emotional reckonings. This is pure Ghibli atmosphere, with a hidden world tucked inside the real one, a world governed by quiet magic and emotional logic. Like Spirited Away, it blends bureaucracy, mystery, and personal growth, where the real journey isn't physical, but emotional. My second choice is by the famous Murakami. It's called Kafka on the Shore. The novel follows two parallel stories, a teenage boy called Kafka Tamura, who runs away from home either to escape a gruesome prophecy or to search for his long missing mother and sister, and an aging simpleton called Nakata, who never recovered from a wartime affliction and is now drawn toward Kafka for reasons that, like the most basic activities of daily life, he cannot fathom. Their odyssey, as mysterious to them as it is to us, is enriched throughout by vivid accomplices and mesmerizing events. Cats and people carry on conversations. There is a ghost-like pimp, a forest harboring soldiers apparently unaged since World War II, and rainstorms of fish, and worse, fall from the sky. There is a brutal murder with the identity of both victim and perpetrator a riddle. Yet this, along with everything else, is eventually answered, just as the entwined destinies of Kafka and Nakata are gradually revealed, with one escaping his fate entirely and another given a fresh start on his own. It captures that essence of magical realism that Ghibli does so well, where strange things simply are, and cats talk and worlds shift, and nothing is fully clarified. It has the same dreamlike logic and quiet loneliness found in films like Spirited Away and the fantastic Princess Mononoke. My third choice, I'm going to put my glasses down, I'm not wearing them. My third choice is one that I've been recommending a few times now. It's Master and Margarita by Bulgakov. Here, the devil arrives in Soviet Moscow, causing chaos through bizarre, supernatural events. The novel unfolds across two intertwined narratives, 1930s Moscow and biblical-era Jerusalem. In Moscow, the devil, disguised as Professor Woland, arrives with a bizarre entourage and proceeds to wreak surreal chaos among the city's literary elite, exposing their greed, their hypocrisy, and moral emptiness. Amid this, a failed writer known as the Master is confined to a psychiatric hospital after his novel about Pontius Pilate is rejected. His lover, Margarita, refuses to abandon him and enters into a pact with Roland, becoming a witch and hosting a dark, supernatural ball in exchange for his freedom. Running alongside this is the story of Pontius Pilate. The two narratives converge as Margarita rescues the master, flying on a broom over moonlit Moscow. It's the chaotic, magic side of Ghibli. Strange creatures, dark humor, moral ambiguity. This feels akin to movies like Howl's Moving Castle. It mixes satire with fantasy, where magic disrupts rigid systems and reveals deeper truths beneath absurdity. Number 4, I've chosen a book called The Book of Form and Emptiness by Ruth Ozeki. After the sudden death of his father, 14-year-old Benny O begins to hear voices, not from people, but from objects around him. Everyday things speak to him, creating a constant, overwhelming noise that blurs the line between reality and imagination. As Benny struggles to cope, his mother Annabelle spirals into grief, developing a compulsive attachment to objects that fills their home with clutter. Their lives begin to mirror each other in different ways, both overwhelmed, both searching for stability. Eventually, Benny finds refuge in a public library, a quiet, ordered space that offers him a sense of calm and meaning. There, he begins to understand his condition not simply as illness, but as a different way of perceiving the world. The novel unfolds as both a coming-of-age story and a meditation on grief, consumerism, and the nature of reality itself. This is very quiet Ghibli, like Whisper of the Heart. The magic is gentle, almost invisible, rooted in everyday life. It's about grief, and it's about connection and finding meaning in small, overlooked things. At number 5, I have The Bear and the Nightingale by Catherine Arden. This is set in medieval Russia. The novel follows Vasya, a young girl growing up in a remote village where old spirits still linger in the natural world. She can see and communicate with these beings, these household guardians and forest spirits who protect the land as long as they are remembered and respected. But as Christianity spreads through the region, led by a strict and fearful priest, the villagers begin to abandon these old beliefs. And as the spirits weaken, a darker force, the bear, an ancient demon, begins to stir beneath the surface. Vasya, caught between two belief systems, must confront both the growing fear of her community and the supernatural threat rising around her. As winter deepens, she becomes the only one capable of holding back the darkness, forced to embrace the connection to the old world in order to protect the new one. This one would probably feel closest to Princess Mononoke again, where nature is alive and ancient and not merely benevolent. There's a tension between progress and tradition, and between humans and spirits, with a strong sense of landscape and myth. At number 6, I have chosen Susanna Clarke's Piranesi. The novel follows a man known as Piranesi who lives in a vast, labyrinthine house made up of ancient, endless halls, statues, and tides that flood its lower levels. He spends his days exploring, cataloguing the world, and caring for the few remains of people he believes once lived there. The only other living person he regularly encounters is the Other, a mysterious figure who visits him twice a week to pursue hidden knowledge within the house. As Piranesi continues his explorations, he begins to uncover inconsistencies and fragments of memory, evidence of another life, and signs that his understanding of the world may be incomplete. Gradually, the truth emerges. The house is not only reality, and Piranesi himself has a past that has been hidden from him. The novel follows his slow movement toward that understanding, as the boundaries between identity and memory and place begin to dissolve. Ghibli, again, this is pure atmosphere. Like maybe Laputa or Spirited Away, it's about exploration of a mysterious and beautiful and slightly unsettling space. It captures that sense of wonder mixed with isolation. Number 7, I have Katsuo Ishiguro, diving into the world of fantasy. This is The Buried Giant. This is a quiet, haunting fantasy set in a post-Arthurian Britain. It follows an elderly couple called Axel and Beatrice as they journey through a land covered in mysterious mist that erases memory. This collective amnesia has allowed a fragile peace between Britons and Saxons to endure by obscuring a violent past. As they travel in search of their son, they encounter figures tied to that buried history: a Saxon warrior, a young boy, and the aging knight Sir Gawain. Gradually, it is revealed that the mist is caused by the breath of a dragon, and that its presence is not accidental, but a way of suppressing memory and preventing renewed conflict. As the mist begins to lift, long forgotten truths resurface. This is the melancholic side of Ghibli, like Princess Mononoke again or The Wind Rises. It's quiet and it's reflective and emotionally heavy, dealing with memory and about time and the cost of peace. For the 8th choice, I have gone with a book called Lonely Castle in the Mirror by Mizuki Tsujimura. This follows a group of teenagers who have withdrawn from school and society, each dealing with isolation in their own way. One day, their bedroom mirrors begin to glow, pulling them into a mysterious castle where they meet others like themselves. And inside, they are given a task: find a hidden key within the castle, and one of them will be granted a wish. But there are strict rules, and breaking them comes with serious consequences. As they explore the castle and slowly open up to one another, it becomes clear that their struggles in the real world are deeply connected. The castle becomes a space not just of mystery, but of understanding, where loneliness and fear and trauma are shared and confronted. Ultimately, the story reveals the truth behind the castle and its purpose, offering a resolution that is less about fantasy and more about healing, connection, and the possibility of moving forward. This one perhaps feels a bit more like When Marnie Was There, or again Spirited Away, about hidden worlds and accessing them through something ordinary, combined with emotional healing and found connection. At number 9, I have chosen The House in the Cerulean Sea by T.J. Klune. This follows Linus Baker, a quiet, rule-bound caseworker responsible for overseeing orphanages for magical children. His life is defined by routine and by strict adherence to bureaucracy until he is assigned a highly classified case. He is sent to this remote island to investigate an orphanage housing a group of unusual and potentially dangerous children, including the Antichrist himself. There, he meets the enigmatic caretaker, Arthur Parnassus, whose unconventional approach to care challenges everything Linus believes. As Linus spends time on the island, he begins to see the children not as threats, but as individuals, each in need of understanding rather than control. Slowly, his rigid worldview begins to soften, and he is forced to confront the systems he once unquestionably upheld. This leans into the warm and whimsical side of Ghibli, like Kiki's Delivery Service, about found family with gentle humour and a magical world that feels safe but still meaningful. And my last choice is by Neil Gaiman. It's called The Ocean at the End of the Lane. This story follows a man who returns to his childhood home and begins to recall a strange and unsettling series of events from when he was 7 years old. As a child, he befriends Letty Hempstock, a mysterious girl who lives on a nearby farm with her equally enigmatic family. After a traumatic incident brings a dark, otherworldly presence into his life, the boundary between reality and something far older and more dangerous begins to dissolve. What follows is a confrontation with forces that are difficult to understand, let alone control, creatures that manipulate reality, memory, and fear. Throughout it all, the Hemstocks seem to exist outside normal time and logic, offering protection but never complete safety. As the memory unfolds, it becomes clear that much of what happened has been forgotten or deliberately removed, leaving only fragments behind. The novel ends where it began, with the suggestion that childhood holds truths too vast and frightening to fully retain, and that some forms of magic are better left half-remembered. This is like My Neighbor Totoro meeting something darker. Childhood memory mixed with ancient, unknowable magic. It has that Ghibli balance of wonder and fear, where the magical world is beautiful, but not entirely safe. So those are my 10 recommendations. Have you read any of those books? Do they sound appealing to you? Do you like Ghibli movies? Let me know in the comments below, and I'll look forward to sharing some more book talk with you soon. Bye bye now.